Hello guys and welcome back to another skill guide video for Total War Warhammer 3 on Immortal Empires. Today we'll be covering Deathmaster Snikch, and we're just going to jump right on into his video. Snikch is definitely one of my favorite legendary lords for the Skaven, but not only for Skaven but in the entire game. He's really powerful. Really like the fact that he buffs the amount of ambush success chance you get with his great Night Lord's Agitator, 25% there, Jump and Scare, another 20%. And also Ancient Cunning with another 30%, which I like the fact that he has that many attributes to contribute to that, because as Skaven, you know, it really did suck back in Warhammer 2 when they put in the negative 15% ambush success chance for units that have the stalking stance, so Skaven and also Alethanar, which Alethanar, you know, his faction as a whole, it basically guarantees that, you know, they rarely ever actually ambush an army, which kind of defeats the purpose of giving, you know, that race, or in that case that specific faction for the High Elves, the stalking stance, because it's kind of unique to them. But anyway, I really like the fact that, you know, he kind of is able to bypass that in various ways. Now, starting with this skill line, I do like to go down and get Ancient Cunning for that ambush success chance. Really powerful, really useful. If we look at it here, you know, it's already up to 85% chance. Really powerful, really handy in your campaigns. And when you're playing as Skaven, doesn't matter who you're playing as, you're always going to be ambushing, or at least you always want to be. You can do sieges when you need to, but obviously most of the time you want to actually be utilizing that stalking stance. Now, I do like to go down the red line a little bit with him, because his faction, the Night Runners and Gun Runners, do armor piercing projectiles. You know, it's very powerful, you know, and so I do like to buff them a little bit there with the Infiltrator, giving them more speed and reload time reduction plus 9%. Just means that, you know, they're going to be firing a little bit faster, moving a little faster on the campaign map. Lord. And also, I do actually like to use the Eshin units with him. And so I do like to put a few points into the Respected and Fear just for the melee attack and weapon strength. And now, depending on what you're doing, you can, you know, just make him a, you know, weapons team army. But, you know, I do like to play a little bit into the thematic with him. And the Eshin units do have their uses. A lot of them stalk, a lot of them have Vanguard deployment. Many of them, if not all of them, have physical resistance of 30%. And so even though their stats aren't the greatest, they have a lot of extra bonuses going on, kind of behind the scenes, that you don't really get to see or see the effects of them until you're actually on the battle map there. But as you're going through there, I do like to go down his special skill line, very powerful, giving him more ambush success chance, more enemy leadership -5. So on top of, I believe it's like negative 33%, which obviously degrades, or eventually goes back down to their normal leadership. So you're able to just rout the enemy super quickly, run them down. So giving your units more speed for your infantry, which there you can see it buffs all your units that you've already been buffing in your red line. Giving your army more Strider, or the attribute Strider, will allow them to ignore, you know, battle map penalties such as hills, terrain, that kind of thing, and also some campaign movement range on the campaign map is really nice. And then the loophole is just for some upkeep costs in hero and lord recruit rank, all provinces, giving, you know, him a little bit of bonuses as well, and then doing the sabotage and unrest. I usually kind of wait on that one. The control -8 is not that big of a deal. If it was more enemy leadership, that'd be useful. And the -8 leadership it does provide only happens when it's in a siege or encircling a settlement. So again, I don't really value that as much, but it kind of depends later on in the skill point spending if I end up grabbing that, because it's not really essential there. Now after that, I do like to grab some of his abilities up here. I do like to grab Expert Thief, just for that extra 25% chance of stealing a magical item, but also giving him Slippery. That way it increases his speed and also melee defense in case he needs to kind of loop around and snipe an enemy lord a little bit faster, that kind of thing. It just depends. And then also, I do like from the shadows giving them Unstoppable, Snipe, and Stalk for, you know, depending on the units if you're doing more of the night runners or gutter runners that don't stock or whatever it may be. That way you're able to provide them that access there. Now going back, we still have 30 points to spend and we still have quite a bit to do. I do like to make him very powerful as a fighter, so why not do that? Leadership, definitely. He's a Skaven player, so he's going to need more leadership there. Verminous Valor, but the rest of it, it's just about unlocking the second part here, giving him more health, weapon strength, melee defense, speed, and Deathmaster Sigil is really good, just so it slows down the enemy there, as long as it's a lord or hero, and it'll do a little bit of damage to them, but it's mainly the fact that they won't be able to move for about 7 seconds there, so they basically have to fight them at least for 7 seconds. Giving him a little bit of extra armor isn't the worst thing in the world as well, and more weapon strength depending on 5%, but an extra 10% depending on when he's fighting other races on the campaign map there. Now, I do like to give him more missile resistance and spell resistance, just so he's a little more resistant to spells such as Spirit Leech. Spirit Leech is a lot more useful in the game, in my opinion, in Warhammer 3 than it was in Warhammer 2. And also some missile resistance. Even though he's a super small target to begin with, he doesn't have much armor. He doesn't have that many hit points, so he can die pretty quickly if you're not careful. So let's just max out as much missile resistance there as we can. Now, for the rest of his skills, I do like to go down the red line a little bit. Mainly just doing, I believe it's gutter-wise. Yeah, giving more range and more speed for Death Runners and Eshin Triad units, but also some extra leadership. And I do like to grab Standard Die. Again, the melee defense is pretty useful for other units, but the big one there is the leadership plus 16. I know it only lasts for 18 seconds, but that 16 leadership is a huge chunk of a lot of the units that you'll be using in your campaigns as Skaven. I mean, that almost is what, 25% of the base leadership of here, these Clan Rat Spears, 16 out of 54 here. It's a big chunk, big boost, 2 units on the battle map there. And the rest of the points, I do like to just kind of go down, finish up his blue line. I don't really worry about Mentor that much in for the Skaven, and so and you're going to be looting a lot, so I do like to grab looting, or looter rather, because as long as you're going to be spending or occupying a settlement, you end up looting it, so might as well get a little extra income from doing those actions there. And I do like to grab Mine and All Mine, just again increasing that post-battle chance of stealing a magic item, giving yourself some income from post-battle loot plus 30%. And then your last point, it's up to you if you want to put it into Sabotage and Unrest or whatever you end up doing. It's not that big of a deal. I usually just end up putting it into Quartermaster because, again, why not? It's kind of just pick your poison. It doesn't really matter too much where you spend that final point. But that is how I level up Deathmaster Snikch. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, how you go about leveling him up. If you end up doing Sabotage and Unrest or Rat Fu, I'm just not that big of a I don't do that many hero actions in my campaigns, which doesn't mean I should or shouldn't. I just don't prioritize that as much in my campaigns, because the AI has so many bonuses against you anyway that that 15% is just not going to be that big of a deal there. But don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys are enjoying the content. And until the next video or live stream on the channel, hope you guys have a good one. And until then, I will see you later. Bye.